The United Nations says Israel's severe restrictions on aid into war-ravaged Gaza, coupled with its military offensive, could amount to using starvation as a weapon of war. This, the UN says, is equivalent to a war crime. Ashley Sakmar tells us more.
United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk denounces the rampant hunger and looming famine in Gaza. Turk says the situation of hunger, starvation, and famine is a result of Israel's extensive restrictions on the entry and distribution of humanitarian aid and commercial goods. This, he says, may be equivalent to a war crime.
Projected imminent famine in Gaza can and must be prevented. Israel's now 16-year-old blockade of Gaza has already had a severe impact on human rights for the civilian population, leaving the local economy devastated and creating a dependence on aid. The extent of Israel's continued restrictions on the entry of aid into Gaza, together with the manner in which it continues to conduct hostilities, may amount to the use of starvation as a method of war, which is a war crime. The clock is ticking. Everyone, especially those with influence, must insist that Israel acts to facilitate the unimpeded entry and distribution of needed humanitarian assistance to end starvation and avert all risk of famine.
Turk's spokesman Jeremy Lawrence says the final determination of whether starvation is being used as a weapon of war would be determined by a court. Israel slams the accusation. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department says it has not seen a weaponization of food in Gaza. Spokesperson Vedant Patel, however, says the U.S. continues to be deeply concerned about the report that indicates that famine is impending in the Palestinian territory.
Let me just say that is not something that we have observed or witnessed, but we continue to be deeply concerned about the report that's indicating that famine is imminent in Gaza. This report makes clear that the amount of aid reaching the people in Gaza is insufficient, and that more needs to be done. We need to redouble our efforts to ensure that aid can get to the places that it needs to go.
Looking ahead, the UN warns that without more aid, Gaza could soon be looking at over 200 people dying from starvation per day. Ashley Sakmar from Ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.